So it would appear that we have an announcement from Blizzard talking about the level 60 raid sizes. Now, yesterday on the stream, every single person in chat said that they were not changing the size of Molten Core, that they already announced and hinted that it would be a 40-man. And everyone told me I was wrong. That I was a dummy to say that they were going to make Molten Core a smaller raid size. Look who's laughing now. Blizzard has released a Season of Discovery developer update post discussing implementing the Discoverer's Delight XP buff, level 60 raid size, and level 60 optimization. Players will be receiving the Discoverer's Delight experience buff, doubled from its current value to 100% bonus. Sheesh. They're giving out free alts, boys. 100% XP buff. Damn. Starting next week. Additionally, Blizzard is making numerous tweaks to gold costs to compensate the faster leveling, meaning you won't be penalized when trying to buy a mount. Not only that, but Blizzard has announced Season of Discovery will overhaul Molten Core into a 20-man experience, as well as adjusting items from the level 60 raids. Massive changes, boys. These are massive. Greetings. WoW Classic team wanted to take a moment to dig up a few adjustments as we plan to make next week, as well as share some details about how the next phases of SOD will handle in-game rating and our thought process around this. When we first concepted SOD, we knew we wanted alts to be a major fixture of this experience, so we decided to add an XP buff. This is great for existing characters that were not at the current level cap or were new characters created after the phase changes. But if you went into phase 2 with several characters at 25 already, it can be a little daunting to level them right now. We've been considering ways to help with this over the past few days and made several adjustments to our existing plans. Starting next week, March 5th, with maintenance, the XP buff will be enabled on all realms, increasing XP gain from levels 1 to 39 by 100%. We always intended to do the XP buff from 1 to 39 when Phase 3 launches, so this is merely moving this change forward from the start of next phase to a midpoint of the current phase. Massive dub. Massive dub. Alongside Discoverer's Delight adjustments, will also be reducing the cost of normal racial mounts. A mount trained by roughly half. We're reducing the cost of racial mounts and mount training by half at level 40. We do not have changes planned for epic mounts at 60 at this time. Lastly, will be increasing the base gold reward from all quests while players are 1 through 39. Please note this bonus gold will not be in effect at level 40, meaning this will not impact the experience and gold conversion for quests at the current max level. This will help equalize things and make questing while leveling a bit more lucrative, which will help players with things like purchasing new skills, buying their mounts, since they'll be leveling twice as fast. This was a problem that we talked about yesterday too, that people just didn't have enough gold to buy mounts at when they hit 40 because the training was too expensive and the quests weren't giving enough gold. And then they just totally fixed that. And how boring it is to level, they totally fixed that. This is amazing. And this goes into effect March 5th. So am I like, I'm wasting my time to level right now. You know what I mean? Do you guys feel like you guys feel like you're wasting your time to level until the 5th? I don't want to level now if I'm getting 100% XP bonus. You should just accumulate rested XP on all your characters, get max rested, and then level them next week in half the time. And you'll get more gold from quests. This is sick. Dude, I'm just wondering if all the people waiting for Phase 4 are the real geniuses. They might actually be. Alongside the adjustments, we'll also be reducing... Okay, I read that already. Going forward, we're also looking at leveling adjustments for when Phase 3 launches. And the level cap raises to 50. We'd also like to continue to make mid-phase adjustments like this to help smooth over the leveling curve for alts a bit, or help those leveling a bit slower to nudge them over the finish line. We think that alts are great. We want you to feel good about playing them, and we think this will help. Raid size level 60. Recently, a hot topic of this debate is the raid size at level 60. And we've been watching the commentary on this closely. Guys, I think they're watching my stream. Do you think they're watching? Do you think Blizz is watching my stream? Because like every single time I talk about something, the next day they come out with a change. To help quell confusion, here's a look at exactly what to expect in the next few days in terms of raid size. The yet-to-be-announced level 50 raid will be a 20-player experience. Molten Core will also be 20-player experience in Season of Discovery. Sheesh. Past that, we are still discussing exactly what raiding in the later tiers of SOD will look like in terms of raid size. For a bit of a background, when we first concepted SOD, we felt that it was perfectly natural version of Warcraft. It was perfectly natural for a version of original Warcraft to have 40 players. This is partially because the development of time needed to scale them was not planned with the scope of what we set out to accomplish an aggressive schedule we have. But mostly because 40-player raids felt like such a defining characteristic of original WoW and are utterly unique to this version of the game. It wasn't even in consideration to... What the hell does eschew mean? Eschew them entirely? When we set out to create our level up raids, however, we did feel that asking people to field 40 players would be hard to ask for 25. We wanted these few raids to be somewhat easy to form pickup groups for as well. As a result, we decided 10-player experience instead for the first two raids. As we played the game ourselves and watched how players approach the community building, we realized we set some communities up to potentially struggle a bit, asking them to recruit up from 1 or 2 10-player groups to a full 40, should they choose to. As a result, we wanted to make it clear now what our plans are to start bridging from 10-player raids to higher raid sizes. While overhauling all 40-player raids down to 20 would be theoretically possible, this may be prohibitively difficult and detract significantly from the other features and content we have planned to implement in a post-60 Season of Discovery. Post-60! Sheesh! New raids. TBC. We are doing some investigation now to help us understand what would be needed and what the framework of the original WoW data can support in this regard. There are some features that just cannot currently exist in original WoW as well, such as flex rating. So we are constrained in exactly what we are able to do here. Molten Core is definitely unique, and that is simple mechanically enough, and under the hood, it would be relatively easy to pare down to a 20-player experience. One thing we've also not talked about yet is our thoughts around 60 in-game rewards and very significant changes we plan there. And that may also be a key piece of context missing to help us illustrate our philosophy on different raid sizes in SOD. We currently plan to revamp many items from Dungeons and Raids, including the existing 20-player raids at level 60. as well as adding new items across all phases of in-game. We have a ton of exciting playstyles that are new or were traditionally seen as off-specs that have been giving life in SOD and will come into their full power at 60. We want to itemize well for as many different builds and playstyles as we're able to in the time we have. We currently also have plans to make adjustments to the difficulty of all raids, as well as the power level of rewards available. This does not mean making raids harder or easier across the board relative to player power, but looking individually at each experience and defining what those experiences are about and what their purpose is. Here's an example. A raid may have traditionally been considered to be a catch-up raid, such as ZG, could see adjustments that bring their challenge level up, but also increase their quality and diversity of rewards so they feel like a viable progression path along current content in that phase, such as Blackwing Lair. On the flip side, we also wanted to make sure that any 40-man raids, we also want to make sure that any 40-player raids that exist remain approachable and that they maintain that soda and pretzels feel of 2009 classic rating, where you could bring almost any group or composition or any experience level and have success. So they're saying it's going to be easy. It's going to be classic difficulty raid, which most people consider easy. We think that adjusting the quality of rewards to a more consistent level between different raid sizes could help provide a larger menu of activities to do that all feel rewarding or worth doing to a wide variety of players or playstyles. Different raid sizes could help provide a larger menu of activities to do that all feel rewarding or worth doing to a wide variety of players and playstyles, and add a lot of fun things for players to chase to increase the efficacy of their chosen Season of Discovery role or playstyle. Yo, what's up? What's up, Mindwave? Grammar is tough, bro. Ultimately, we recognize that not knowing what is coming can be a cause for anxiety. We also recognize that what we set out to create and the audience we created it for have grown and evolved in a short time since we announced Season of Discovery. It is also difficult for players outside of our development process to understand what the true end game is for SAW without us being extremely specific. But it is a bit too soon to really share the nitty-gritty details on every aspect of the level 60 in-game. Some things are still in concept, and other things will change based on the other future learnings and where your feedback takes us. We want to arrive at a place ideally, if your guild wants to strictly stick to a smaller team of 20 people, the rewards are compelling enough that you don't feel behind a team focused on the 40-player rating. Maybe, guys, maybe the 20-mans are going to have good loot and they're going to be tougher. Maybe they just make the 20-mans harder than the 40-mans. Who knows? In closing, what we'd really like to hear from you is feedback on what you want. While we think that 40-player rating is important to OG WoW, we are interested in doing the thing that will create the most enjoyment to the most amount of players, but ideally not remove enjoyment from another large contingent of players so long as it is feasible to do. This is one of the great challenges of being custodians of this game. There are so many people who want very different things from SOD and Classic at this time, and our team has constraints and what we can accomplish as we are moving at full speed through these releases. We're going to continue to do our best to strike a balance and compromise between a great many perspectives while still trying to keep key aspects of Classic WoW Classic. The best way we can do that and prioritize the right changes is for you to share your feedback and constructive suggestions with us to help us forge the right path forward together. We appreciate the time everyone has taken to comment on this and other issues. We hope to hear from you on this, and we hope to be able to share even more info with you very soon. Thank you. Hmm. They want to make 20-mans not a catch-up raid anymore. They want to make them a progression path to AQ and Nax. So they want to make it a harder 20-man maybe. It seems like MC, ZG, maybe we get MC and ZG and AQ20. Like, maybe we get a 20-man and a 40-man with each release. So we get Molten Core and Blackwing Layer. Then we get like a 20-man with a 40-man. We get like ZG and then AQ, and then we get AQ20, or we get AQ20 and AQ40, and then we get like ZG and Naxxramas. Like we get a 20-man alongside with every 40-man with every tier that they roll out. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's me, but I love the 20-man path they're going down. I heard leading 40-mans were like a second job. Here's the thing. 40-mans are pretty easy. There's a lot more room for like, you know, the casual player in a 40-man than there is in a 20-man if the 20-mans are tough. One player who's gray parsing ain't gonna hurt you in a 40-man. One player gray parsing in a 20-man, it starts to hurt. 2 players, 3 players, now all of a sudden, you got a bigger issue. And that's why in a 20-man, you need every single person. And that's why, like, even the best guilds in the world, like, they're only carrying, like, one person through a mythic when they're selling, what's the mythic raider achievement? Not AOTC, but the one at Cutting Edge. When they're selling Cutting Edges, they're not selling a bunch of raid slots because it's just not really possible. Now, if it was a 40-man, they could probably carry way more people and sell a bunch more Cutting Edges, those World First guilds. That's why 20-man is just like, there's not... And then in a 10-man, if you have one bad person, you really feel it in a 10-man. I like 20-man raids. I just don't... I like what they're doing. Half the people kind of want 40-mans. Half the people kind of want 20-mans. We did a poll last night where we kind of just asked in the stream. Majority of people actually want 20-man raids. 20 to 25-man. I think a 25-man raid is kind of like this weird compromise raid size. And it seems like it would make the majority of people happy doing a 25-man raid. However, I like 40-man raids. There's a lot more room for error. It's just that there's a lot of people who don't get loot in 40-mans. And I think that one of the best things about Classic, which is why people really like it, is how rare the loot is. You need 40 people to get 2 pieces of loot. And that's why it's like when you get the loot, it's like, oh, snap. That guy's got the loot. You know what I mean? Whereas like now it's just like everybody gets the loot. Yo, what up, Sard? A lot of news today. Forwards, bro. This is crazy, man. We're talking about it right now. I like the direction that they're heading. Some 20-mans, some 40-mans. Revamp all of them to make sure that the gear is up to speed, and there's gear for every spec of every class. There's Boomkin gear. There's Ellie Shaman gear. There's Shadow Priest gear. You know what I mean? There's Paladin gear is very specific. You know, plate spell power. You know, we need more plate spell power in the game for Paladin tanks, especially. That's what I like to see in the game. You know, unique pieces of gear for certain spell classes, set tier pieces, set pieces. Those are amazing. And I really like the idea of revamping the loot, also revamping the difficulty and revisiting level up raids, 20-mans, and making them actual progression raids with rewarding loot for each tier. Season of alt leveling, exactly. I'm blown away by the fact that they're giving us 100% XP for leveling. I think it's the best thing ever. While some people enjoy leveling, most people don't. Most people have proven that they would rather just blow past the leveling and get to the end game. That's what WoW is about. No one has time to level a bunch of characters. If anything, what I wish that they would have done, you guys, is once you have one max character, it unlocks 100% XP on your account. So then you get immediately, once you level one character, now you've unlocked the 100% XP, and you can just level as many alts as you want. Because it's like, okay, I did it one time the normal way. Now let me have the accelerated way. You know what I mean? And I think that would be a fair way. Why not just instant level 40? Because that's retail, and we want to keep classic classic. No boost, guys. No boost. You should have to earn it a little bit. It gives that uniqueness of having to level your characters. You think that should apply to reputation? Guys, first and foremost, reputation should always be account wide. No way in any shape or form should you ever have to level reputation twice. What in the hell are we thinking, guys? Please. Account wide reputation. Vanilla never had XP grooves? Yes. I know. And now they do. Which Vanilla has always needed an XP boost. Matter of fact, when you're playing the Alliance, and you're leveling, there's sometimes you get to a spot where there's like 2 to 3 full levels in the 40s of no questing that you can even do. You legit run out of quests. Unless you're leveling with rested experience. I'm talking about people who aren't. And you have to stay in the Naga cave and just farm mobs for like 2 to 3 levels. Leveling has always needed an experience buff in Classic WoW. Like a 20% at minimum. I like the idea of 100% XP buff. I actually really enjoyed leveling with the 50% XP buff. I thought that felt right. 100% is insane. I think that you should be able to unlock 100% like right after you hit max level on one character. And you can go. I don't know. I mean, dude, I think it's awesome. I like it. I know there's some people that aren't going to like it, but I think it's great. We need more people at max level. We need more alts. We need more people looking for raids. And this just kind of does feed into the pug culture, but once the raids start going up in number of players, I feel like pug culture will slowly start to go down, and we'll start to see guilds rise to the top again. There'll be a lot more people looking for guilds. I hope to, run a 40-man raid guild that likes to get, really high parses, and we like to do fun activities. So I'm looking very much forward to level 60. I can't wait to see how the 20-mans go. I'm imagining if the raid at level 50 is going to be a 20-man, what raid can really facilitate a 20-man fight? What dungeon? And to me, I think probably Sunken Temple can facilitate a 20-man raid the best, I would imagine. And then maybe at level 60, we get a BRD or something like that, something cool. 20-man Molten Core is disappointment? Nah, man. Trust me. Being mad. 20-man MC is going to be good. And the reason is because they're not going to spend a bunch of time revamping over everything in Molten Core. They're going to focus more on the new content. And this, just cutting the raid size down, allows them not to have to spend as much time retuning all the fights and stuff. We want to arrive at a place where ideally, if your guild wants to strictly stick to a smaller raid team of 20, the rewards are compelling enough that you don't feel behind a team focused on 40 player rating. I'm thinking, you know what that means, Ranzor? That to me sounds like 40-mans might not be the hard raids. What if 20-mans are going to be the harder raids? That'd be crazy. Do you guys like that? Do you guys like the 20-mans being the harder raids? What if the 40 guys, what if the 40 mans were the level up raids? Were like the catch up raids, and the 20 mans were the content. That'd be crazy. You got to cut half your raiders when the raid gets harder? Yeah, exactly. You take the best. You take the best people that get the loot. The 40 mans were never difficult, so that's probably accurate. Well, guys, they've already said this. Now, they said something very, very, very specific with the 40-man raids. They said, what did they say? With the Coke and fries or something like that. That's like you can raid while eating in Classic. They said that. They said that's the difficulty. I can't I can't find it. This post is so massive. Is it fries? It was Coke. It was Coca-Cola, right? They're having a soda. Oh, soda. It was soda. Okay, here it is. Yeah, soda. Soda and pretzels feel of 2019 Classic rating. Where you could bring almost any group composition or experience level and have success. That's what they want for the 40-man raids. I kind of agree with the Molten Core, Blackwing layer. You can bring any 40-man and have success. Now, when you get to like Cthulhu, Twin Imps, you start to get to the harder fights like Four Horsemen and Nax. Can you really bring any comp to those? You can't. And so I hope that they keep some of the difficulty in the end bosses of the upper of the premier 40-man raids. You know what I mean? I love 40-man raids. Harder content is definitely more fun. We are doing so much damage at level 40, you guys. Is like we are doing the same amount of damage at 40 as we do in Classic at 60 almost. Warriors aren't yet, but they might start becoming close if they had world buffs. They haven't addressed world buffs at 60 yet either, so that's another big topic that they haven't talked about. But this is very exciting. The 20-mans, I like 20-man Molten Core. I'm not too sad about it or anything like that. I think it's going to be fine. Molten Core was... What would have been bad, you guys? What would have been bad is if they left Molten Core the same and left it a 40-man. That's what would have been bad. This is fine. 20-man MC is fine because then they don't really need to change the tuning too much on it. We're going to go in there doing as much damage as a 40-man with 20 players, and then we'll get the same amount of loot, right? So it's like there'll be less than half the raid there. So more people will get loot. And it's going to be all new items. Everyone is saying Sunken Temple. Everyone's saying Sunken Temple is going to be the 20-man level 50 raid. I'm excited about level 50 raids and having it be 20-mans because I can play with more of my friends. A lot of my friends, like let's say in Swamp, it's like Bobka has his own raid, Ampy has a raid, I have a raid. You know, it's like C-Dank has a raid. And I would love to merge some of those raids together and have like more friends in one raid in a way. And it's like you can't put all of your friends in one raid because people play at different times or people play the same class. You know what I mean? And then those people kind of like, they clash, so we split up so we can have better group comps. I hope they have 2 raids at 50. I don't think they would do 2 raids at 50. And the reason, Badger, is because that would take away more time from them developing level 60 content. We want them to develop level 60 content. We do not care about level 50. As cool as it is, guys, we do not care. It's nice. It's great. Thank you. Go make level 60 good. Level 60 is the forever game. Focus on level 60. Get us a new raid. Make it difficult. Make the loot awesome. Make the stats very optimized for our specs, the spec that you want to play. Give those specific items that you want to go for. Make Thunder Fury great again. All that. I need to start saving up for my Thunder Fury on my Tank Paladin. You know what I mean? I need to start saving up. Thunder Fury for Hunter's time? Guys, I totally forgot Thunder Fury's a hunter weapon now. Thunder Fury's a melee hunter weapon. I totally forgot. Melee hunters are good now. I gotta compete with hunters now too on the Thunder Fury. I'm gonna have to start my own guild, guys. I might have to start my own guild just to get a Thunder Fury. Hopefully they leave Thunder Fury in the game. They wouldn't take it out, guys. They would not take out Thunder Fury, would they? They would never do that. They better not do that. I would be upset. But I have a feeling, guys, Thunder Fury on a tank paladin would be insane. You're already the best AoE tank class. Thunder Fury has to be a pally weapon. It was meant to be, guys.